Alright, welcome to game one. This hand's an easy mulligan. My deck can do much better than that. Unfortunately, this isn't much better. Really none of my 2-drops are present. But I pretty much have to keep this. All of them with planes. I'm not going to show right away that I'm Affinity. Really hoping that I hit land drops here, or at least a 2-drop. Yeah, this could get ugly pretty quickly, but a land drop does put me in okay shape. Like a plains here is probably ideal. I might be playing the tokens deck. Yes, I am. And didn't hit the land drop. So I'm very, very far behind here. Interesting. So Court Homunculus doesn't worry me much unless he actually has artifacts to pick up with, which doesn't look like he does. And I'm just gonna pop off the Court Homunculus now. Obviously not blocking here, and just because he can pump that. Okay, so this is a spot where I can actually play down a Mirror Enforcer if I want to. I can also just play down a Mechanist, which would be fine. I can play Cathodian, which puts me on 4, makes this cost 3. But I'm probably just going to play Mirror Enforcer so that I can actually interact in a meaningful way at this point. And it makes my Mirror Enforcers down the line a little bit better as well. And maybe he taps down the Mirror Enforcer. I'm actually mostly fine with that, because I'll just pay 2 and tap this guy down. Especially now that he's already paid the mana for whatever he's going to cast. Really bad start, but I do have a chance to play my way out of this. And yeah, I'll let him if he... Okay, so he's not going to attack. So this is likely an end step tap down. I can play this for 2 and play this for 2, which is probably my play. This gives me 5 artifacts. And yeah, I'm just going to go here. Perfectly fine with that. This is likely an end step. Scatter the seeds. But I have decent ways to deal with that in subsequent turns, especially if I draw white mana. So yeah, so he doesn't have a ton of interaction, it doesn't look like, which I'm pretty happy with. If I can make my way out of this game, I would be very, very happy, because it just hasn't been great. Clearly I want a dispatch draw here. I do have the Soul Eater to start dealing with that. Okay. So this is... Spectral Possession, I think, for sure. But it's actually awkward because then I can't activate my Glinthawk Idol or leave Blinding Soul Eater up, and I probably do want to have Soul Eater up, so I'm just gonna play Mechanist. Hope I see something decent. Alright, let's see a card here. Seeing the rest go away kind of sucks, but another Soul Eater is great. And I will take the activation because I'm going to use that white mana to tap down to 7/7. It's entirely possible here he decides to Tumble Magnet my Soul Eater, so he can go through for 7. In which case I'm just going to chump. Okay, he didn't. If I were him, I think I would have, because he would have gained a card out of it, which was part of the problem that I had with not playing. Really? That's so interesting. So yeah, so we're for sure going to tap that down. Okay, so again, kind of an interesting spot. I could double equip kill that, but that's not really worth it. I do really want to get Spectral Procession out. What scares me here is I'm digging for an artifact, but I don't know how much it actually does for me. I think getting a second Soul Eater into play is a little bit better here. I probably should have, well, actually it doesn't matter what I tap down, because I'm going to go with the Glint Hawk Idol anyways. So reactivating it doesn't matter. And yeah, I'll just go with that. And maybe I have to chump. If I do, so be it. Again, he's not really using Tumble Magnet all that much. And pretty soon he'll be able to tap down 2 real threats, and maybe he has to keep making tokens with Selesnya, which I'm okay with. And I have a lot of draws in my deck to start getting me into what I'm looking for. I mean, maybe he attacks with Mirror Enforcer, but I think I just double block. He doesn't have enough artifacts to dispatch himself, so maybe he pumps here. I'm fairly happy with that. I have enough artifacts where I don't have to worry about what's going on really. Okay, so that's a real card. Okay, so we got this into play. I'll represent Vapor Snag. I probably should have kept, well, I couldn't keep white open. Okay. Again, not super concerned about that. Maybe he taps down this turn and he has a pump spell. Really? So I'll pay 2 and tap him down. Okay. Play Fairy Mechanist. Hope I don't like mill both my dispatches, because those are cards I really want to see here. Okay, so I milled this on lands, and 2 lands. So I'm actually okay with that. Those were 2 lands I certainly didn't want to draw. Maybe he starts Tumble Magneting at this point. So if I go for 3, if I go for 4, I think I'm in a better spot. I feel like my board's pretty good. start mortar potting whatever I want. Frogmite. So he's kind of in a weird, like, half Affinity, half whatever deck. Maybe he just wins if he double magnets me here. I think I'll happily trade, to be honest. I want to be trading with whatever I can. Okay, so that's dead. The question now is if I want a mortar pod. A 1/1 at the end of my next turn, I guess, is when I would do that anyways. If he doesn't tumble magnet me here, okay. Is going for 3 enough? 3 puts him at 6. Yeah, going for 3 is enough here. And I'm just going to kill that. I should have attacked if I was going to do that, but whatever. Keep him from pumping, and that should be enough to keep me alive. The question is, do I still tap that down? If I tap that down, I have 2 blockers. No, I don't, because I want to activate the Glinthawk Idol. I can block that with the 1/1. I'm probably dead to Fortify. But I think this is my best chance to win. Sigil's Blessing. 5. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? So I win. Okay, that was a real close one. But I'm happy to get that one. The start of that game was absolutely brutal for us. Mulligan into a pretty mediocre hand, missing a land drop. Super happy to get out of that game, to be completely honest. And I think I can run out the same stuff. I want to be playing early. I want to have Spectral Perception and that to jump block and sneak some damage in. So I'm pretty happy with my list for this matchup. But yeah, that was crazy close. I'm going to keep this, but it's potentially terrible. But I do want to have early interaction wherever I can. I'm not going to kill Homunculus with Sunlance yet. If he plays another artifact, I think I'm more likely to kill the second play, the turn 2 play. Nest Invader. So yeah, I'm more likely to just kill Nest Invader here, which is always a 2/2. And I'll play Cathodian next turn, which would lock the board down. But again, this is just a terrible hand. And my deck is very much capable of much better. Okay, so this is Cathodian. I can play Sunlance plus Arrest next turn. Okay, so 4-drop. Mirror Enforcer. Honestly, I'm real happy with that. And just arrest that. And do I want to preserve card advantage, or do I just want to... Oh, yeah. I always forget I can't actually Sunlance. White cards, so I'm just going to sit back, make these tumble magnet charges. I draw some because Commune with Nature. I haven't actually had that played against me. Kavu Primarch. He can't cast yet. I'm really hoping I have artifacts to dispatch that when it does come down. He's sitting on the tumble magnet, which is fine with me. So this is kind of brutal. I'm flooding out really, really hard in a 16 land deck. And like I said, I just don't really want to attack. If he has pump spells and things like that, and I have removal to deal with the big stuff that he gets out, I'm perfectly fine with that going on. So this is going to give him 6. So he doesn't have the mana to play the Primarch yet. And I know that's one of his cards. He's still not comfortable. Okay. Really happy to get another artifact. My dispatch is almost turned on. And that's a really key part of me beating this deck, since I haven't really hit my 2-drops too consistently. I could have actually considered attacking there, but I just really want to play defense here. So this is going to be the Primarch. So I really probably need an artifact draw, although I can just tap down the Primarch. One, two, three, four, 5. I probably should have left one more white open so I could tap something down. But this can just block either one, so I'm not super worried about that. And so can Mirror Enforcer. But it was still a small misplay in my opinion. I'm just going to get rid of that now. And go for 3. Alright, so cards are evenish. I have a pretty large board advantage. He only has 2 tokens on board, really. I feel fairly good about my chances. Things like Fairy Mechanist are just insane draws here. Essentially any non-land card in my deck is going to be good here, outside of Sunlance, because it just isn't a good Sunlance board. Another dispatch is fine. There's not a whole lot of white interaction that he can have at this stage of the game that does much. He could technically dispatch there was that one dispatch that didn't come back. Could very easily be in his deck. So if he goes with both, I think I just block the homunculus. And I can leave the 1/1. Well, there's an argument for blocking the germ. But if he has Sigil's Blessing, okay. So I'm in pretty good shape. So, well, let's just represent more. Let's just say, begin combat, go with Cathodian, play as champion, and we'll play it for 1 and 2 blue. And we should be in pretty good shape, just because he can't really block this with anything outside of his artifact, which he could very easily draw. But that's a card I can kill, so I'm not super worried about that. Again, like, what does Frogmite do here? And that's the exact reason that I don't like the card. And it's the reason I'm just going to tap this down so I can go with my Etch Champion. Okay. So tap down Cathodian. Okay, so he's going to start tapping stuff down, which is fine with me. Again, I'm just going to Sunlance the Frogmite, hold up Dispatch, and I should be in really good shape here. The Soul Eater is... the card is so good in this format, and it's so good in the Affinity deck when you have one that has really powerful removal like Dispatch. It can just be so incredibly good. I might just tap down this Mirror Enforcer indefinitely and hold up the Dispatch, because maybe he does something like, you know, play the whatever. What's that card called? Okay. Go for 2. But he has Apostle's Blessing, and I know that, so I don't necessarily want to Dispatch. Until I see that in response, I'll just hold up as much as I can. He doesn't have profitable attacks here at all. So we'll tap down the Enforcer. And yeah, he's going to go for 3, which is fine. I feel like happily trade damage for a little bit at least. Especially if he doesn't have to play this turn, and if he does, I'll just Dispatch it. Okay, so... happily Mortar Pod here. And I'm just going to go with Etch Champion and Cathodian. Turns out just Etch Champion. So I'm going to go for 2. And then let's kill the Homunculus. Sacrifice this creature. Oh, maybe it's not going to let me do that because it can't do activated abilities. That's a little annoying. Okay. So kind of threw away a card there. For some reason I thought I could still sack it. So Frogmite for free. Again, not too scary. He gets through for 3. He can't block Cathodian anymore. Okay, so just go for 2 every turn, just plug away. Flooding kind of hard, but so is he. I'm going to hold up this Dispatch for as long as I can. Kozilek's Predator. Okay. So pump spells are getting a little bit scary now. He knows he's walking into removal now, but if he has Apostle's Blessing, he has it. I'm just going to pop it off now. Alright, play Mechanist. I should definitely hit an artifact here. I'd be very surprised if I didn't. Oh man. That's sort of the nightmare scenario. I'm going to hang back. Sigil's Blessing is pretty close to lethal. And that scares me a little bit here. He could block with an Eldrazi spawn. But it makes Sigil's Blessing worse, so I save myself 2 damage. So it's still sort of 2 damage swing. Oh, well, I guess 1 damage if he has the Sigil's Blessing. So he's really thinking, he's probably counting lethal right now. And it's actually likely that I do tap down something this coming turn. Again, Mortarpod being on this is a little bit shitty for me. For some reason I thought I could use this to ping. Let's move this over to the Mechanist. That's going to be the play that sort of did me in. If I do lose to something like Sigil's Blessing here. But this makes it so that he kind of has to play it at instant speed, which means I'll be able to deal with 2 of the damage. So I get +3/+3, so that's 9. Oh yeah, I just lose. Do they get trample? No, so I can block 1, 2, 3. Take 10? Is there a spot where one of my guys survives? Like if if instead I tap, so if instead of blocking I tap down the 3/3. I block here, I block here, I take +3/+3, so I take 4, 10. So let's pay 1. They don't get trampled, do they? No. He's going to attack with everything. I'm going to take 10 over there. Block here and here, and I take 10. And then yeah, just barely win. Another very, very close game. Down to 1 again. But sometimes it's close when you kind of have to play control as Affinity. I'll see you guys in match 2.